Okay, so I'm just going to do a video here now how I prepare my truck and load the camper onto it. So first of all, you have to hook up the attachment points to the vehicle, and you can see here I've just basically got a 2" by 2" square piece of iron. It slides into a receiver that I've welded into the frame of the truck. You can actually get a belly bar for these trucks as well, so you don't have to weld anything to the vehicle. It just bolts up to the existing holes in the frame. But basically just pull the pin and slide the bar in, and then reattach the pin, and you're going to end up doing that for the front on either side, and then I'll move to the back. Okay, now at the back, this truck actually came with the tow package, so I didn't need to do any modifications to the truck. Basically just slides into this hole here on the hitch, and I just welded up this piece of tubing here so that I can clear the vehicle, and just has this little latch on the side here that you just turn, and that just holds it in so that it doesn't fall out as you're driving down the road. But basically front and back just have the same sort of pin on the top that the camper just hooks into. And on my truck actually leaves the chains on this back piece so that they're not hanging off the camper. And basically you just do that on either side, and once you've got both sides done, you're ready to get the camper lined up. Oh, just a comment too, on this truck I actually installed these airbags. These are 2,000 pound airbag. This is a Dakota, which isn't a full-size vehicle, so I'm putting, even though my camper is quite light, I was still putting quite a bit of weight in. They basically just sit on top of the spring and then just bolt it through some existing holes in the frame at the top. And then you just use this little thing here to put the air into the air shock, and they basically can add additional 2,000 pounds of payload into your box if you need it. Just good to level the truck back out with those, and just put the one on either side. I'll just show you the label so you have an idea of what the name is if you want to look it up. It's called airlift, air spring, and you basically just get that online if you needed it for your vehicle. I didn't really need it for this truck because my camper is quite light, but I just liked it to be able to re-level the truck out. It actually lifts the truck about an inch and a half in the rear. Just keeps the truck a bit more stable going down logging roads. I also made this piece of wood to go in the back of my truck. And it just locks around the wheel wells there, just because I found the camper was kind of sliding around on the smooth plastic liner, so I put that in there just to make the camper so it just sort of slid around, didn't slide around so much in the back. One thing you also want to remember too when you're building a camper or putting a camper in, that you have to have access to this little thing sticking out here for let the spare tire down. In my truck I can actually access it from underneath. There's a gap there, so I didn't have to worry about overhang. Otherwise, if your camper overhangs and you can't access that, you won't be able to take your spare tire down, so just remember that. So I've got my truck sort of sitting out in front of the camper, lined up as well as I can, and it's probably a truck length or so ahead of the camper. And you just basically want to get it as straight as to the camper as you can. Makes it a lot easier when you're getting closer. You're not trying to wave all over the place. So basically I just look down the box line and just make sure that I'm sort of lined up straight with the camper, and you can see down the side of the camper that I'm pretty straight here. And then basically you're lining it up with the widest part of the camper, which in my case I've bumped it out a little bit there when I was building this camper to get as much space in the camper as I could. Actually only have about 1/4 of an inch on either side, so this camper is probably a little harder to load than most, just because it's so tight. They usually do give you about an inch or so to get it on, but it's still quite easily done. Once you do it a few times, it'll be quite easy. And the key here is, of course, just getting it as straight as possible before you start backing up. And it always helps to double check and triple check if need be. I get out usually while I'm backing it up as well. I want to get a little closer just to make sure that I'm all lined up on my camper, because it is so tight. Also, you want to just make sure there's nothing that's going to catch on the truck as you back up, so I just tack these attachment points from the camper just into the legs of the jacks, just so that they're out of the way and I'm not going to catch them on the muffler or the side of the truck or wheel or anything. And you also want to make sure that your camper's level, it's high enough and there's nothing underneath the camper, so it's clear under the camper. And then you're basically ready to back up. And yeah, just make sure that the back of the truck camper is empty as well, of course, too. So when I'm backing up, I basically am looking sort of past the edge of the seat here, just sort of in this hole. I'm just kind of putting my eye down the side of the vehicle best I can, and looking so that that sort of inside piece of the truck there lines up with the widest part of the camper. And when I'm backing up, you can actually see that sort of over your shoulder. If you sort of turn in the seat, you can look down there. And I usually just back up till I'm about 1 foot away from going under the camper, just to make sure that I'm high enough, or the camper's high enough that I'm not going to hit the truck. I make sure that I'm lined up again, that I look like I'm going to clear everything. Everything is really tight on this camper because I built it for this vehicle, but it all clears by an inch or so, so just getting it lined up is the key. Box here, just so you can see as I back up. And there's about an inch or so clearance on the bottom of the camper to the truck bed. And as I back up, I just make any small adjustments that I need to, just to make sure that the side of the truck box is going to clear the side of the camper there. You can't really see there, unfortunately, but it's lined up pretty much perfectly. It basically will just slide down the side of the camper there. Just again check that you got enough clearance everywhere that you need. And then just slowly back it up to the very end until it's you can actually just look through the back window of the truck and you see the camper about an inch away from the back of the truck. And you know you're there. And once it's loaded into the truck, all you have to basically do is I'm going to go and what I do is I just release the hydraulics on the jack just slightly, just till it just starts to move. And I can actually do all 4 at once, so I don't need anyone to help me. I can just release each one, and the camper will just slowly go down all on its own. It tends to go down quite level, but you can see here I just go to the other side and I let the other 2 down, and it just drops down nice and slow and easy. And once that's done, I basically just release the hydraulic a full turn, and then you can start to pull up on the bottom of the hydraulic jack and put those away. You just lock them in with the little clip that's at the bottom of the jack there. Just stops them from going back down. And then I just hook up the attachment point to the camper to the attachment point on the truck that we put on earlier. And I've chosen to use just a screw type latch down. I find that they were just easy, really low maintenance. There's lots of different styles. You can get clamp styles or ratchet styles. There's all different ones, but I just found these ones were cheap and easy. No real maintenance to them. And just continue to go around and do that on all 4 of the jacks. And once that's done, you are good to go. The only other thing that I have to do with my truck is it's a good idea to check your tire pressure. I have an E-rated tire on this truck that can handle the extra load. So you want to just check your tire pressures, because you're usually running lower tire pressure when you don't have the camper on there. So I pump the truck tires up. And then because I have the airbags, I also pump up the airbags to about 90 psi, which brings them back, my truck back up to level, as you can see it here, raising about an inch and a half. And once that's all done, hook up the wiring if you have to for the lights on the camper, because usually the truck lights are blocked. And if you need to move your license plate as well. I also carry with me this little electric pump, 12-volt electric pump that you can use just if you need to adjust anything in where you don't have a air compressor like I was using earlier. It's just really handy if you're just in the bush or something, and you can use it for pumping up other blow-up toys or whatever as well. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video and you're ready to go camping. Subscribe if you like my channel, and comment if you have any questions on the video. Thank you very much.